So, hello guys, welcome to today's Geeks Talk Thursday session. Yeah, so Geeks Talk Thursday is a community study in the Eldoret and is a community for help us to learn, engage, and share knowledge. The slogan, let the commit speak, and that's the website, geekstalkthursday.co.ke, and it's brought to you by AppsLab. So what we do every day at Geeks Talk Thursday, just it too. What we do at Geeks Talk Thursday, we talk about introduction to development. We do code labs. We have fireside chats. Talk about productivity, product review, and product launching. Also, we do open source. And so Geeks Talk Thursday is also a part of Fun Friday, which is organized by Body. Be there tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Or is it 4:30? It's 4. Then there's the Geeks Talk Thursday blog, 100-254, happens every Friday. The Atlassian community events, Atlassian community open bar. So for Atlassian community open bar, you can go to Telegram and search for Atlassian community Nairobi and join that channel. For 100-254 open bar, go to Telegram and search for 100-254. Then join. In both, you will find the description of open bar pinned on the channels. So if you want to find the videos of the previous sessions, go to YouTube, Geeks Talk Thursday. Then there are also open source stuff we do on Geeks Talk and GitHub, and other discussions editing those open source contributions we do them in Slack, geekstalkthursday.slack.com. So I'll go straight to today's discussion. So today's discussion, I think this person Snillock is having an issue. I think if any of you can just guide him over on how to turn the audio on, I'll appreciate, because I'm just kind of alone here. So yeah, I'll share that later. Done. So yeah, so the first day I'm Magak Emmanuel, I'm a developer at AppsLab, and we have Harun Wangereka. He's a bit away, but I think he'll join us as we go on. So what we want to talk about today is about project planning. So yeah, so as a developer, our work is always to solve problems, and by solving problems come up with software solutions, solve this kind of problems. So when we do so, at a time in our life, we always get projects, and you find that in many cases, most guys just jump into the project and just start doing it, maybe not considering so much factors. At the end of the day, you get being troubled by not beating your deadlines. You are in constant push and pull with the client just because the terms are not well defined. You realize maybe halfway what you're doing has been wrong, and maybe you scrap it and start afresh. Maybe you're not aware of what you're doing, you're not sure of it. So, and that is why we're saying for every project to run smoothly and from start to end, there need to be a plan. And that's what we're discussing today. So I think I just have a few points we're going to put across, and I think If you have any addition, you can add. If you have a question, you can just unmute and ask it. Anytime you're not talking, just kindly mute. So for project, as a developer, when you're doing a project, there are so many things you need to consider. Are you going to do it alone? Do you have a team? What kind of project it is? Yeah, and the scope of the project, and the other things we're going to discuss. So I shared in the chat. A link to an SRS. So the first step in development as a developer is having an SRS. So the first thing as a developer is having an SRS. So in this, when you get a project, the first thing you need to do is you need to write the SRS down. For example, there is a let me just skip this and come to okay. So if you come to this screen, don't know how visible it is. I don't know how visible it is, but I think it is. So I'll just add. How do you zoom? Is it zooming really? Okay. Oh, I'm doing the inverse of zooming. I'm zooming in instead of zooming out. Yep. So I think I'll go with this. So these are a sample exercises we came up with. I think Harun and Marvin did these SRS just to show you on how at least the little minimum you can do when you consider writing an SRS. So it is prepared by an abstract team. So for the content of the SRS, you have the company overview, for example. So it's just a template which it does not so much in it. It's just like an overview of what you need to have. So for this is like for a travel management system. So you'll define what the project is all about, and I think just oh, sorry for that. So I was saying, yeah, leo niko kind of peke yangu. I was trying to handle guys who join without muting, and yeah, so the company overview just explain about your company, like say it's outside as a software company. We just started this and we deal with this and this. Just introduce your company, then now the project, like for in this case we have an example of a travel management system. So I shared this link with you. I don't know if you don't have the link, you can just comment in the chat and I'll share it again, or somebody who have it can just repost it kindly. So you define the problem statement, the solution, the key features. Like you can go through the whole file, yeah, through that readme. So that's the first thing you need to have, and the SRS should define every scope of that project, so that by the time you're starting a project, you really know what you're working for and you know what you're working on. That one will build the issues where you find that you're working on a project, then maybe on the first instance you're having maybe on staging a demo to the client. Then at that time more ideas come to them. So you realize if you don't have a document which tests the initial features of the app, you'll never get to the end of the project. Every time you always go for a demonstration or maybe you have a release, more features are added on top of each other. So SRS helps in blocking that. In that, from the SRS, you know what you're working on, and and of course, when you are starting a project, you always have a contract. If it's not your personal project, it's a project that a third party, you have a contract, which also defines how the SRS can be modified. Like say, if there are more features added, then you can do an addendum of the SRS on this cost, or you can consider it during the maintenance stage, or you can consider those additions when doing version 2 after rollout. So that's one of the reasons why you really need to have an SRS. And I think also it also helps you to plan as a team so that you know the magnitude of the work, the kind of platform you're going to do, and yeah, like you can see with this SRS, if you scroll down, you realize uh, there is a mobile application, then there is I think these are the key features. Then there is key features of the mobile application. Then obviously with this, you know, you'll have the API, you'll have the backend, and maybe you'll have the front end, then maybe the admin dashboard. So when you're having another, you can at least try to picture what the project you're going to do and what stack you're going to use. For example, so by the start of the project, you're really clear you did an Android app and a web app, so that it doesn't come along the way when the project is ongoing. So that when the client just feels like, oh, I think how this goes, what about if you add an Android app? You know, those kind of scenarios. And I see there are a lot of the guys here like Rashid will tell you, Sigu is here. These are guys who I know have companies and they work for clients, and maybe one time in their journey they will know now clients behave. And one of the things that makes the projects stay in line in the SRS. Yeah, so that's the first step, having a SRS, Software Requirement Specification. And the second step is having an understanding of the SRS, which I've talked about. Like you analyze the SRS. From the SRS, you see, do you need an Android app? Do you need a web app? Are you going to use a database, or what kind of going to use? So that you define all those things. I think I hope everybody have this copy of what I'm viewing. Like you see, for this one is like a minimal SRS. Like it really doesn't have so much detail, but at least it defines what is needed for you to start that project. Defines maybe if there's going to be a payment gateway, debit card, credit card, there's cash on delivery, there's M-Pesa, the technologies which are going to use PHP for server side, Vue.js and HTML for front end, and so much on for the Kotlin for the mobile app. Then there are non-technical requirements. Yeah, so basically that need to understand that. Then the next thing is breaking down tasks and roadmap generation. So this is also an important step, and from this point is where you're going to determine, now we have this SRS for this project. So by breaking down these tasks, you're going to come up with a roadmap, and from that roadmap, you're going to help estimate the duration this project can take, so that you don't overpromise. One of the first things to do to a client, for example, or even to do to yourself, is overpromising. Say that I can do this in 1 month. Then by 1 month, you're not even rolled out to staging, for example. One of the nightmare. So This step is so very much important, and I'll show you how you always do it at AppsLab. So what we always do is looking at this rest, and I think I'll combine this step 3 and these tools. So this is where the project planning tools comes in, and I'll show you. Mostly in our company we use Trello, and at times Jira for production for project planning. So just by preference. So for example, you can check out Jira, but it's free now. Jira is free for up to 10 users. So you can just go to atlassian.com and check out Jira and maybe have one. So maybe you can create a project, available features, classic projects, and just choose classic project. Then is using the UTT planning. I'm just naming this. This is my personal Jira in a project. So yeah, so UTT, let me call it that. So that is a Kanban board. You can change the table, but I prefer Kanban if you are aware of the agile methodology and Kanban, how it works. Kanban is basically the normal task management process we always go through. The to do, doing, done. That's basically Kanban. Yeah. So get this project, and then actually see your name agile board. So from this point, then you can have the backlogs here, so that you choose, so that when you come to, let me see this. So when you come to, for example, you see the key features. So you see the key feature from user out. So these are just examples. So you can really come up with whatever you have according to the project you are doing and the scope of the project you are doing. So for example, in this, you see we have user auth, we have roles and permissions, departments, and so this one. So I'll show you one of the ways. So what you can do with Jira, for example, you can create, say, user auth as an issue. Let me put it as a story. User auth. Then I think I'll assign myself. I think not attached to any issue. Then maybe you create this priority. Then yeah. So when you click this user auth, then you can create subtasks. So the subtasks are now these. Say each user using the system has to log in with credentials. So that can be a subtask. So what I always advise is that you really don't have to come up with so many issues. Okay, ignore that. So what am I looking at? Let me just put this next to this so that I don't confuse it again. So and you can argue with me, and I can also agree. Like all these, for example, all these subtasks like each user can be expanded to be a task on itself. But what I always prefer doing, and I'll show you when we get to Trello, is like I'll create them as subtasks so that I really don't have so much issues to deal with. But when a subtask grows, you can always change it to an issue, rather than having so many issues which are so small. So that is also something that I always like doing, so that when you start doing this, by the time maybe you drag this for development, so I think you can really go and check maybe how to use Jira well later. Or alternatively, what I can tell you at times what you always do, which is easier. Let me just come to Trello. Okay, so to Trello. Okay, so this is my personal board. I really don't want to show so much stuff here. So let me say GTT. Let me just open this. Let me just put it in. Let me just put this GTT in doing. So this, for example, you get the GTT planning. For example, okay, let me just use the exact words because we have that already here. So for example, it's called a travel management system. So that when I do this, is that, and then this is a travel management system. So what I do at initial starting of a project, because I already stated that all these key features, even the sub key features, can be broken down to be large issues. But okay, so another thing with Trello is also free up to, I don't know how many users, and there are features which are free and features are free. You can have up to 10 boards in a team free. So what we always do is we try to reduce the consumption. Like, we really don't want to use every project on its board, because by the time we are on the 10th project, say, we'll have to pay for it. So I think we really need to pay for it, but we really want to pay for it. So we use a card for a project. So say, if you say this card, this is a project on its own, so that now the issues which we did in Jira, now when we come to Trello, the issues becomes, what is that one? The issues becomes now checklists. So they become checklists, and maybe I can just show you. So the beauty with I think the beauty with the Trello, if you copy that list and paste here, it will form. See how good it is. Trello will automatically always know if you are copying a list or not. So maybe you can do this. Just show a small example. Maybe another checklist. So these are a very good alternative for Jira if you really want something light but really working for you, like Jira does. And you do that, you see how easy it is. So by the time you have this, you have the tasks very well aligned. Then for this one, you can always add the members. Say I'm alone in this board because it's mine. So say you add that there. Maybe you can add the labels. If you say is in progress, is yeah, and so much more. So I think I'll just switch this board and show you what is already existing, which is the project. So this is our AppSlab board, and I wanted to use okay, so there's a roadmap here. So you see, from what we have here, the user out, the roles and permissions, the department and HOD, hotels and accommodation, mode of travel, travel group, and all these lists, Sorry, let me check. Okay, so on all these lists now, you weigh with your team according to what you are seeing, what is the amount of work you have, and how long can you take. So, for example, this is a roadmap generated. This is a simple roadmap generated from an SRS, like what we're trying to create now is generated. So what we always do, we always create two cards. One which acts like a roadmap, and another card for now the real tasks now. So, for example, the roadmap is checked against when we are in a demo. For example, you see, for this first sprint, what we do is these tasks here. So by the time we are here, we are in the Scrum meeting and reviewing these. Now we tick these, but the same this, you see, there's this card now. Now this is the roadmap. Now this is the nene. I think. So it is. I think it's this. How do we click it? So I think the labels are just. I think it's in progress, not awaiting start. Somebody just. Let me just start that. So, and this is a client project here. So you see the roadmap is here, and the surprise is here. So I don't know if I can show you like for example, you see now this is a roadmap generated from an SRS. This is the roadmap. So yeah, that's an example. So from that we put it in Trello. See, now when we are here, so these the tasks generated from the SRS. And now when the developer, if you work on a task, you take it here. So at times a task grows. At times a task grows, and that's why you see we have this client action. So at times a task grows, so that a checklist item should now be converted to a card, and I'll show you that. So let me just go back to this this. So for example, if you say this one becomes so huge, so what you can do at times, if it's so huge, and mostly this is post this first stage now that maybe we're testing the system and really need more work on this. What we can do, we can always convert this to a card and work on it later. Or at times, it depends with the kind of project we're doing. At times, a project also grows so huge that we can't maintain it a card anymore, and so we do like so Rashid can't limit on a join. So we do like Jadili. I think Jadili is one of the projects where we had a card. And if I can show you, for example, now Jadili. In our query. So yeah, you see, we have Jadili here, but it grew so huge that we had to move it to its own board. And you see, we have the first walkthrough. These are now like sprints. The second walkthrough, the third. No. So that's what I was trying to explain. Just when starting a project, just keep the tasks small and simple. Don't have the bigger picture. They grow on the way as you proceed, rather than having something so big that you leave so many things untouched. And I think if really those these board so well, man, why am I really this board so well? You realize there are even projects which are completed, but the tasks are not all checked because you focus on the bigger picture, and at the time you don't even you focus on what is not really existing, and by the time the project ends, you really have so much unchecked. So what you have and what the project task management has and what you already have in the system don't match. So that's why you just keep the tasks as simple as that, then they grow as you go. So I think I really touched that so well. So another thing is the development phases and sprints. I think I've really explained that so well. So for example, for the for the for the roadmap generate, you can have say a week or two sprints. So basically, what we always do after we always have a sprint which runs for 2 weeks. So we always do our bi-weekly sprint meets. So for example, it depends the size of project and how urgent the project is. At times, other teams go to an interval of 1 week or maybe say 3 days. Yeah, and also it depends on the stage of the project. When the project is nearing ending, you always have shorter sprints and mostly you're all just fixing issues and stuff like that. So you can say, for example, this you do the first sprint for this much. I think this is a week. Then you have your meeting. Then they just a week long. These 2 weeks or a few days. Yeah. So stuff like that. So that from assigning the SRS to having the SRS and now breaking the SRS to smaller tasks and coming up with the roadmap, you can now come up with how you're going to do your sprints. So that it also gets easier working on the task of breaking them small and you know when to meet. So, I'm looking for the presentation. I have so many tabs. Really need all of them, so I want to close any. So next is okay. So after that, I think we already have that. You really don't have, in my opinion, you really don't have to jump straight and maybe create the project and start doing it. Okay, it depends when you're alone or you're not alone. So what kind of project are you doing? Are you doing a simple landing page, or are you doing an Uber-like app, or are you doing an e-commerce website, or are you doing maybe a social messaging platform like WhatsApp? So with that, you come and just from the SRS and from the roadmaps you have, now you sit with your team and now start to determine from this kind of project we have, what design patterns are you going to use, what the architecture we're going to take with this. So like for example, for a simple landing portfolio page of our company, really need to consider so much. But say for a delivery system like say Sendis or Uber Eats, really need to come with so much thoughts into mind. You think of maybe thinking of having a project which can easily scale in future, for example. So these are features that you have to take care of from the start, so that you don't end up patching stuff when like adding more features and realize you repeat so much code and fixing and maybe testing becomes so difficult. So this is one of the factors is so much important, and we always take it so seriously. And from how we develop nowadays, we have so much. We have like a process and there are modules. Like for example, for depending on what kind of project, we have a pattern to go with. So that it becomes easily to attach some other functions which we worked on previous steps and really don't need to repeat them. Like for example, payment integration. Payment integrations are always the same throughout. So the thing is, from how you plan these projects, you can have some already made payment integration somewhere. Something like roles and user management is something which is so common in all these apps you do that has admin dashboards and different hierarchy of users. It's something that if you as a team maybe you have worked on it prior, or you know how you really always work on it prior, so it's something that you will just plug in, so that every time you start a project you don't always just repeat everything, so that every time you start a project all things just start from scratch. So these ones, after a discussion, it always takes, say, one person in the team to maybe start the project and scaffold the basic stuff, and maybe after that the version control comes in and the other steps come in. So that yeah, and I can also in this I can also advise if really develop and you're working, say, client projects or personal projects, there are stuff and we're trying to work on more. Maybe in the future we'll release some of them for open source. I think some are already out there. Say like notification packages, payment packages, things like the SMS sending, things like maybe card, roles and permissions, you see, file generation, charts and dashboards. These are things that are always repetitive in every step. And when you really come to think of how you start your project so well, plugging in this kind of already existing solutions which you have or which already exist really helps in fastening the process of development. And yeah, so after considering all this stuff, now that's when you create the project and the top overview layer. And now from this point now is now where the real development now starts. Now from that point now start the actual development. Maybe you create a repo and start sharing on maybe version control, accessibility, and maybe yeah, and the stuff like that. And from this point where maybe the Git workflows comes in, and next week actually we're going to have the next week's session will be on Git workflow. So what we really wanted to do is just introduce this stage and see how we just set up a project, and from this maybe we do the Git workflow, maybe after that just how project development stages go until the end. So I think I'm done on my part, unless there's somebody who has something to add. JR will just join lately, and Harun, we've talked on so much stuff. Oh, is it echoing?
Hello guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I was following. I joined like 30 minutes ago. Most of what Manu was saying is what we had maybe planned for the session. Sorry, I could not join from the very first. But maybe what I'd like to maybe echo on is most of these planning tools, as they have been mentioned, and communication tools are very important. And yeah, I think maybe you should maybe take maybe be it Trello, you can be comfortable with Jira or any other task management tool that you might see that works for you. I think it makes it easier to like follow everything, and also in case like you want to, it can also serve like a point of reference in but maybe let's say you had this done and this not done, kind of a thing. Yeah, so that is what I'll echo. Trello is, for me, for us, we've been using Trello. It's a very powerful thing. And yeah, that's all I can add.
Thank you, Harun. Zika, kuna swali, I think you can just unmute and ask, or just type in the chat. Can you share this Slack link, this Slack link? I'll share later. Zika, kuna swali yote so far? Any question?
I have a question, Magak.
Yeah.
Between Trello and Jira, which one would you prefer for your project, like the best project management tool for everyone to see, and when you want to like post your cases while handling a project?
I think what I said, and you see, for Trello and Jira, they kind of, I think if you want a more advanced version of, and really need more advanced features, you'll go with Jira. Like say, you know, it gives you so much. Like for example, you noticed in Trello you can have a card, and you can have, say, a card and have the checklists, and just the list. There are not so much actions to act on them until recently they added that you can assign someone to a task in a list in Trello. But if you come to say Jira, like you can really do so much integrations. Like say you can integrate this with say Bitbucket, or say GitHub, and Confluence, and Obsidian, and so that when you really do your actual development and solve the issues, they get done and marked without you necessarily coming to Jira itself. And at the same time, there is Jira for customers, where, for example, when you're doing the tests, and instead of the customers giving you the feedback via let's say emails, you can have a dedicated page where they post their feedbacks and they automatically come to Jira as an issue. So like, realize Jira is so much advanced, but Trello is just like a lighter version of it. At the end of the day, you can achieve the same goal. At the same time, if you really need something small and light, I just advise to get started with Trello, for example. But when needs and wants to grow, you can always integrate Trello to Jira, so that you can migrate your whole to Jira. At the same time, you can still integrate Jira with Trello, so that you have your issues there, but you really want to break them down to smaller tasks, and checklists just need to be checked. You take an issue and create it to be a card, and make those checklists, and maybe when the checklist is done, you treat that issue to be solved. So the things can work along by, and I don't really think there is a better one. But I think if you check Bitbucket, there's something interesting with the Jira, that it really gives you an upper hand when you really want to integrate this stuff with, say, Confluence or Bitbucket. For example, I think I recently noticed Jira is added currently to Bitbucket. You can access this. You see? At the same time, you can see the access Trello from Bitbucket, but you see, what I just trying to say is like Jira issues, so that when you work on an issue, you don't come, you don't really need to come to this one and say drag it. It can be solved and mark as done, for example. Yeah, so I don't I think I answered you well. I will never use Trello. I really don't know about Clubhouse. Yeah, let me just see this. So, Moha is about what works for you. You know, all these tools, at the end of the day, if something makes you productive more than the other, that's the best tool for you. And if Clubhouse is the best for you, then I think it's the best for you to use. Then, which kind of stuff does it lack? I really don't know about Clubhouse, so I don't think it's something. Marvin is saying Trello is similar to Clubhouse, but downside of Clubhouse is lack of a lot of stuff and is not being maintained well. So in short, we can say that SRS project is a starter kit for devs. I really don't. Can you say it's a starter kit? I think I can say, you know, a starter kit is like it's like an essential stuff. I think I can say that an SRS is part of a project and is something which is not there. Then I really don't think the actualization of the new project can even be achieved. So it's something which has to be there for the development process to be smooth and yeah. So kuna mtu hapa, anybody has anything to add? I'll check on this Clubhouse later. Monica, were you satisfied? Oh, are there standard requirements for an SRS document?
Yes, kinda. Okay.
Kinda like what was missing? Okay, so are there standard requirements for an SRS document? I think for an SRS document, there's kind of standard, but at the end of the day, what matters is it really specifying the requirements of the software? I think if it answers that question, then the SRS is okay. Like, does the SRS satisfy the requirements of that software? The specific requirements. If you have to be. But I remember if you did computer science, I think I don't really remember, but there's a kind of metrics or let me say information in the SRS that like the SRS have to meet. Like, I think if you can review these, one of the things is just like really need to define the key features in depth. Like for this or just an overview. For example, we really need to define that system in depth, like real depth and what are going to be used. I think this one not even include, for example, if you're going to send SMS in this system, which third party are we going to use and what are the costs? Now, if you're going to use front end, and you see, and that's why you might wonder, like we always know we're going to use a back end, but why are we just specifying? We need to specify is PHP Laravel, and I think to be more specific, we should need to specify the PHP version. We need to specify stuff like Nginx, or say Apache, or the DB MySQL. We need to specify stuff like its front end JavaScript. Like we always know front end is HTML, but we really need to specify it's HTML5, for example. Like I think that's why it's called software requirement specification. Like you need to be specific to things. Like it should not leave. But like for example, we cannot say we're going to use a database. What kind of database are you going to use? See, for example, if for example you realize you say you're going to use MySQL, what about if you want to use Oracle? Oracle is premium, for example. Yeah, so stuff like that. In your company, so there's another question. In your company, how do you handle situations where you find the project is not meeting your schedule according to how you had planned? So okay, so what we always do, we always don't we plan our schedule. Okay, what we do is here for what the client needs. So we come up with an SRS. So at times the clients will come with an SRS, so we can only discuss it and do an additions or subtractions together, depending on how we agree on the pricing. So after all these agreements, the SRS and there's also a contract which defines how long the project is going to take. So it's always on our side to come up with the deadlines. But there are times a client needs a project take a short time. So what we always do, there is a criteria we use, and according to how we agree, we'll invoice higher because we're going to work on this project in a short time, which means maybe there's a project which can stall, maybe other devs need to work extra hours. So I think it's a question of more on how the contract is being drafted more than how the SRS is being written. But yeah, so those are mostly details which are there in the contract. You can always adjust, but as per the agreement of the client, because we've got in the first thing, Arun and Marvin and can tell you the shortest time we worked on a project was a CRM. It was 2 weeks. We used to sleep like 4 hours literally. I remember Marvin used to call at 4 a.m. Amka, alarm pale. He calls in the morning, wake up, we need to do this. Like, it was that bad, but it depends. But always projects like that, the invoice costs really have to shoot that to happen. Yeah, but what I can advise is something I cannot advise for. At that time, we were starting and we had no option. Is always that when you start a project, you get to agree between you and the client. So really don't promise to a short time that you cannot deliver. Yeah, so then I think I answered you. Jika kuna swali lingine. I think so. If there is no further questions, what is that? I think I'll just say thank you for those who managed to attend this. The Slack link. If you're in the WhatsApp group, we'll share it there. I think we'll have to generate a new invitation link. So I currently don't have it. Need just to generate it. So this, then I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. Yeah. So thank you guys. So what we did today is just about project planning, and maybe if you join late, you can catch up with this video later. Then next week we're going to talk about Git workflows. Yeah. So generally, after now starting this project, how do you organize your project? How do you version it? How do you contribute? So that don't realize like you have 5 people all pushing to master, start complaining after a week. I did this. This was a version with this. Yeah. So those kind of stuff. So that's what we will be talking about next week. So I think that's all for me now, and thank you guys.